There are only 3 S.T.A.R.S members left now. Captain Wesker, Jill, and myself. We don't know where Barry is.
Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine. Barry Burton. Rebecca Chambers. Albert Wesker. Resident Evil.
All right, it is Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for the NPL Video Game Club. Happy Friday to you all. Hope you're having a good week thus far, and hopefully an even better end of the week on this Friday, October 28th, 2022. With over here in Norwalk, Connecticut, actually, it's a pretty cool day. According to my weather app here, 58 degrees, partly sunny. So hopefully in your neck of the woods, it's a nice day. Nice day to go walk around, enjoy nature, and just have a good day. But thank you again for coming on by. As always, your host here, Aldo. And happy pre-Halloween. Halloween is coming up right around the corner. Actually on Monday. So in honor of that, I'm kind of breaking from the norm, which I will go into in a little bit. But before I do any of that, I do have some orders of business to talk about here with goings on at the library. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get those out of the way. That way I can get to the gaming. So, first and foremost, those of you who do visit the library, our main branch located on Belden Avenue in Norwalk, Connecticut, you may be aware, but if you are not, we have expanded our hours. We are actually open on Sundays now. So we are open on Sundays from 1 to 5 p.m. And on Wednesdays and Thursdays, we are now open until 8 p.m. Where in the past, on Wednesdays, we were open until 5:30, and on Thursdays until 7. But now on both Wednesdays and Thursdays, we're open till 8 p.m. And again, on Sundays, open from 1 to 5 p.m. So gives you some additional time and an extra day. Come on by to the library and enjoy what we have to offer. If you're looking for a specific book or programming and all that jazz, we have some extra time to provide that for you here at the Norwalk Public Library. So keep that in mind if you are in the area. And on Saturday, the 29th, tomorrow, actually, is the Dia de los Muertos celebration. So it's the Day of the Dead celebration. And it'll be happening outside of the library and in Studio 1. It'll be from 2 to 4 p.m. Come on by and join. Come make traditional flower arrangements and masks. And I'm sure there'll be some other treats and other cool things happening. And, you know, if you're not familiar with the tradition of the holiday, this is a good way to get some exposure in and maybe learn about this very important holiday in Latino culture. So this is sponsored by the Nosotras CT, which is an organization, Trabajadores del Hogar y la Biblioteca de Norwalk. So sponsored by Nosotras Connecticut and the Norwalk Public Library. So the co-founded event. Come on by, check it out. Again, 2 to 4 p.m. tomorrow, which will be outside of the main entrance as well as Studio 1. This is the main branch location at Belden Avenue. So come on by and check it out. We'd love to have you there. And last but not least, the Indian Local Author Celebration is happening on November 4th through the 5th, which, according to my calendar, is next Friday and Saturday. So Friday, November 4th and Saturday, November 5th. The Norwalk Public Library is pleased to join libraries across the United States, Canada, and the UK to celebrate local, independent, and self-published authors all on the same day. This will be a day to celebrate the written word, storytellers, and our Connecticut writers. So if you are interested in supporting or checking out local authors, there are so many that, many that you probably aren't even aware of. And it's always nice to support local artists, be it art, be it writers, photographers, videographers, musicians, just so many crafts that there are out there. It's always so important to the lifeblood of any community to support local artists. So that'll be happening again next Friday, November 4th, and Saturday, November 5th. So we'd love to have you there. And yeah, so what am I playing today? So doing a little bit of a departure, quite a bit of a departure from what I normally do here at the library. And, up to this point, I have not played anything rated M, just for the sake of keeping everything, as family friendly as possible. Now, the exception is a 1-day exception here because Halloween is right around the corner, and we won't have any other streams before Halloween. So I figured I would change things up and play the classic 1996 landmark entry in survival horror. That is Capcom's original Resident Evil entry. So, yeah, who hasn't heard of Resident Evil? It's kind of a no-brainer up to this point. But, you kind of had to be there back in 1996 to understand the sheer impact of this game. But what is this game about? So I actually have the original 1996 PlayStation release of this game, which I'll show in a second. But let me read off what this is all about. So the back of the box of the game says, "You're dead scared. Face your fear." A series of gory attacks in the area surrounding a remote biotech lab brings in S.T.A.R.S, Special Tactics and Rescue Squad, to investigate. On arrival, Bravo team communications are abruptly cut off. Now it's up to your team. You arrive at the isolated mansion, underpowered and on the run. Arm yourself with anything you can find. Knives, pistols, shotguns, flamethrowers. Search for hidden rounds to stay alive. There are puzzles to solve, traps to disarm, and mysteries to uncover while trying to avoid a bloodbath with the freaks of nature that populate the mansion. Each lurking horror you survive will bring you closer to the source of the resident evil. unprecedented detail, intense texture maps, shadows, and lighting effects. Unique camera angles, action perspectives, and realistic polygon character graphics. Face unstoppable zombies, monstrous spiders, mutated snakes, and other unknown horrors. Explore hundreds of rooms in the gigantic mansion, secret underground lairs, the garden, graveyard, and guest houses to solve mind-bending mysteries and discover fascinating secrets. Ominous digital surround soundtrack adds to the rich and evil 3D environment. Choose which soldier to play. Each creates their own graphic storyline. So actually interesting, it mentions a graveyard as a location, and there actually is no graveyard in the final release of the game. So yeah, the graveyard actually did appear in the HD remaster that came out on the GameCube originally, but has since been ported to modern consoles and all that. But in the original Resident Evil, the graveyard is not a location in the game. 8-Bit Glitch 79, what's up, buddy? Happy Friday to you. And yeah, actually, you know, before I do that, let me show off. So I am a bit of a fan of Resident Evil, you could say. So as I mentioned, I have the original Resident Evil long box. This is the original. So, you know, for those of you youngins out there, PlayStation 1 games originally came out in these cardboard, what they call long boxes. So they're very fragile. This specific release of Resident Evil is quite uncommon. You don't see it very often, and you have to be very careful with these because when they release them, they literally, it's a piece of paper that is glued onto this cardboard shell, and you could probably even see that it's peeling off. It's just gonna happen no matter what. But yeah, this is Resident Evil 1. This is the original PlayStation release for PlayStation 1. So that's just one version I have. Now, this was originally released on PlayStation 1, but it was also released on the Sega Saturn. It was later released on Sega Saturn. Sorry for the glare. But this is a much more uncommon release than the PlayStation 1 because not many people had Saturn in the US for one. So I also have it on the Saturn. And fun fact, the Saturn version is unique to the PlayStation 1, where it actually has, I don't think they show it here, but it has different costumes for your characters. There's actually a whole different enemy in this game. They reskin one of the enemies called the Hunters, and they reskinned it. And this specific reskin is only in the Sega Saturn version of the game. I forget what they're called in the Saturn, but they're not called Hunters. I think they're called Clickers or something like that. I could be wrong. But it also has a battle mode, which was a precursor to the Mercenaries mode that everyone loves in modern Resident Evil games. But yeah, that is Resident Evil, yeah. So I also have another release, which is the Nintendo DS version. Now, Resident Evil Deadly Silence was released on the DS. Now, this came out, I don't know, 2008, maybe 2009. I could be wrong. So this is a really fantastic port of Resident Evil 1 on the Nintendo DS, the only portable version of the game that was released. And this is actually a little bit different too, because they did add a couple things, such as a first-person mode, which lets you like attack enemies with your knife, and also solve some puzzles with the touchscreen of the DS. I believe it also had the battle mode, and no loading. So you could actually bypass the loading screens of the game on the DS. So yeah, those are the variants. And you know what? I actually don't have it on screen here, but I have a Game Boy Color Resident Evil originally was set to have a port on the Game Boy Color way back when. And there was, many years later, long story short, Capcom canceled the port on the Game Boy Color. It never saw the light of day. But certain prototypes of the version of the game released, they leaked out, and you know, some fans have actually taken those prototypes and put them onto a cartridge. So I have this prototype Game Boy Color cartridge of Resident Evil 1, which is a really fascinating thing to look at. But yeah, that is a little bit of Resident Evil. And before I begin the game, I kind of want to start off with the intro, because the version of the game I have, so I'm going to be playing it on PC. The thing is, I'm going to be using a specific load, a save game that I have with some extra goodies, but because of it, it'll skip the opening movie of Resident Evil 1. So I would like to play that before anything, because it gives some insight into what the story is of Resident Evil. So without further ado, here is the intro movie of Resident Evil 1.
Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we're searching for the helicopter of our compatriots Bravo Team, who disappeared during the middle of our mission.
You haven't found it?
No, I haven't found it yet. Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. Bravo Team went to the hideout of the group and disappeared.
Look, Chris!
It was Bravo Team's helicopter. Nobody was in it. But strangely, most of the equipment was still there. However, we soon discovered why.
Hey! Come here! Run for that house!
Get ready for the best slap bass you'll ever hear. Coming up right now.
Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine. Barry Burton. Rebecca Chambers. Albert Wesker. Resident Evil.
Alright. So yes, that is the intro movie of Resident Evil. So, if you're a bit younger, you may be wondering why. Why are real actors there? Well, again, this game was released in 1996, and back in those days, one of the selling points of the PlayStation 1 and CD consoles in general was to have what it was called FMVs, full motion videos, meaning actual cinematics with real people. It was a selling point back then. You know, it would be a way to immerse you more. Nowadays, CGI pre-rendered cutscenes have advanced to the point where, you know, they could on their own mimic real actors and stuff like that. But again, back in 1996, that simply just wasn't possible. So it was a thing that everyone loved, and yeah, you know, different times. You know, you kind of had to be there to understand it, but you know, seeing real people like here was a way to hook you. Now you may be wondering why it says Biohazard here and not Resident Evil. So, in Japan, the series Resident Evil is called Biohazard. And a little quick primer of history why it does that. So, well, the whole idea, the whole concept behind the game is about monsters, bioengineered monsters, creatures, bioorganic weapons. So the word biohazard kind of fits because this is all biochemistry, bioscience, you know, stuff like that. So it's all tied. So like biohazard meaning there's a danger in all of this science, and that's kind of what it's all is all about. Now in America, when the game was being planned to be released, they couldn't call it Biohazard because at the time there was, I believe, a rock band or a metal band that already had the name Biohazard trademark. So Capcom could not release the game with that name. So they had to come up with an alternate name. And thus the name Resident Evil came about. You hear Resident Evil, it doesn't really make sense. But the whole idea is, you know, specifically in this first game, you are in a home, a mansion, a residence, and there's a whole bunch of, like here, a shark or zombies or other monsters that you'll see are out to get you, out to, you know, to harm you. They're evil. So you're in a residence, literally a residence of evil. And then they just turned it into Resident Evil. That's how that came to be. So, yeah, without further ado, let me start the game here. But yes, Resident Evil, it may look silly and dated by today's standards, which is why of all the M-rated games I could have chosen, I think this was like the safest choice. So,
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil. Alright, so... Jill... You know what? I don't have Jill's save. Never mind. So I'll just do it normally then. Hold on. Okay, I could have sworn I had a different save slot for Jill. Okay. 213. Oh, here it is. Okay. So... Oh, whoops. Wrong button. I gotta remember the button layout here. It's a little bit different. Okay. You have once again entered the world of survival horror. Good luck. All right, I'm gonna absorb the amazing voice acting.
What is this? Wow, what a mansion!
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't
Open that door.
But Chris is...
What is it?
What is it?
Maybe it's Chris.
Now, Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you.
Chris is our old partner, you know.
Okay, let me handle this.
Stay alert. Alright, so there's Jill Valentine, Barry Allen, and Albert Wesker. We have made it inside the mansion. A dining room.
A dining room.
Alright, so this is where I am given control. So, yeah, you'll notice, before I go into anything, to give you a primer on Resident Evil. So, Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, all use this format. Code Veronica as well. So this, you may have heard the term tank controls. So what does that mean? So it basically means kind of like driving a tank. So Jill is facing, you know, me, the camera. But if I press up on the D-pad, I'm going down, right? Now, if I turn around and I press up, I'm going up. Now, no matter what my perspective is, I'm going to be moving. So, like, for example, I'm going to keep moving up. Even though the camera angle changed, no matter what, I'm still moving in that same direction. It's hard to explain, but the game uses what's called static camera angles. It's meant to create tension, you know, to kind of enhance the feeling of claustrophobia or isolation in this mansion. So, you know, it's not a third-person game. The cameras are fixed. Now, okay, so I have my weapons here. Cool. So these are weapons you unlock when you beat the game under a specific time. So I have a submachine gun with 9mm bullets. So I want that. Normally, you would get a handgun and a knife. But since I beat the game under a specific time, you get bonus weapons with infinite ammo. So that is always nice to have. Yeah, you can go Rambo. But I'm gonna go check on Wesker because, you know, he told me to go, but I want to see what's going on.
Investigate if you hear any gunfire.
Alright, so the game wants me to go the way the game wants me to go. I can't deviate from the path, right? So, you notice those loading screens are doors. Those are loading screens. So, you know, back in the day with the PlayStation, you were on CDs. So, there were loading times. So, basically, it would load to load up this new screen. Now, Resident Evil did it in a kind of a genius way to immerse you. So, like, you would open the door and it would show you the door that you're opening. To kind of mask that loading screen. Instead of just a generic now loading, it would show the door opening, which was a cool way to hide it. So these backgrounds are pre-rendered backgrounds. What does that mean? So this is a technique that's no longer used in gaming, which is a shame, but it is what it is. So, you know, PlayStation 1, Sega Saturn, you know, they were much more advanced than your 16-bit system. So like the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo, things like that. This was the next step up. So in order to create more detailed, quote, lifelike backgrounds, games like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, other games too, used a thing called pre-rendered backgrounds, meaning this whole thing, outside of my character Jill is a static image. So this whole thing here of a balcony, a table, the columns, the light, the door, the floor, it's all a flat JPEG picture, right? That's all there is. Now, the game is giving me the illusion that it's a 3D space, but it's actually not. It's a 2D space. Now, what Capcom did was added some invisible walls to, like, for example, I'm brushing up against this door or the wall, or these columns here. You know, in reality, they're just a 2D image. There's no collision. But what they did was, you know, they added an invisible 3D column here to make me brush up against it. It's giving me the illusion of 3D, but it's actually not even really there. You know, so this was a way back then, you know, because even though the PlayStation was more advanced hardware, it still couldn't, in 3D, like if they were to try to do this whole scene here in polygons, it wouldn't look anywhere near as immersive or real like this static pre-rendered background. So they're able to give it more detail. So, you know, back then, it was all about the immersion. Yeah, kind of like green screen for video games. Yeah, so basically, yeah, think of Jill as, think of this whole thing as a back green screen, right? Kind of like how YouTubers put themselves in a green screen and they put themselves in, like, you know, crazy backgrounds and all that. Same thing, you know? Right here, this other camera angle. The only things that are 3D are Jill, and on the left, you see that grandfather clock? That one's actually 3D. Every single other thing you see here on the screen is part of a static 2D image. So even though I can, like, interact with it, and the game will tell me, like, if I investigate this table, it says dinner utensils, or I can go to this picture here, a picture of beautiful scenery. You know, it's up to you what you want to investigate, but everything else, you know, so this table is not really there in a 3D space, right? So what Capcom did is, to simulate the effect of me running into this table, they created an invisible 3D rectangle, which is giving me the illusion that that table's there, but in reality, it's not a 3D space. It's really a really cool technique. There's nothing inside. What if I investigate this window? It's dark outside and I can't see very far. Linda, what's up? Oh snap, PBS Resident Evil. I am hyped. Yeah, I just want to give some factoids and stuff, you know? I think it's wonderful. You know, obviously Apic Glitch, Linda, you guys were around when Resident Evil was, you know, fresh and new. But I think to talk about the technology and talk about what Capcom did when they released this game, excuse me, is very interesting from a technological perspective. All right, so now, again, here, the only things that are 3D are Jill, Barry,
What is it?
and that emblem on the wall.
Jill, see if you can find any other clues.
I'll be examining this. Hope this is not Chris's blood. All right. So I can check on Barry. Oh, actually, no, I can't. Barry is investigating. Yeah, so, I mean, you kind of had to have been around, excuse me, to understand the sheer impact of Resident Evil when it came out. Picture of a woman. All right, so now this grandfather clock, a dusty-looking grandfather clock. Now, you may be wondering, why is this clock 3D if everything else is a 2D image? Well, if you explore around enough, you'll eventually find... you'll find out. So I can run. I can go... Nope. Barry doesn't want me to go.
Courage already? It's not like you.
Yep, so okay. The game does not want me to leave this area.
Who is it?
Hey, you!
Look at that.
Run, Jill! He's insane!
Okay, this was an alternate cutscene.
What the hell?
This normally does not happen. This only happens if you leave and Barry tells you that. Normally what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to go through this door here. I've got to report this to what, yeah. So normally you go through that door, you find a cutscene of the zombie eating someone, and then it comes out. You either fight it or you run back out and Barry will kill the zombie. So this was an alternate path. Again, most people probably didn't do that. So again, there are little tweaks. This is kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure book. You can go different routes.
Wesker!
Help me look for him, Jill. And don't leave this hall for the time being.
Alright, so Barry told me, look for Wesker, but I can't leave the hall. Right? So what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to change the camera angle. So if I go back here, I get a different camera angle. If I go back, progress with the story.
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Beats me, too.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well,
It can't be helped.
let's search for him separately. I'll check the dining room again.
Okay, I'll try the door on the opposite side.
This mansion is gigantic.
We can get lost. We can get in trouble.
If we get lost, we should start from the first floor, okay? And Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if
You, the master of unlocking.
take it with you.
AC Myers, what's up? Happy Friday to you.
Thanks.
Yes, the voice acting is precious. It is legendary.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall. This time I'll
Be there. I mean, he was there before, but that's assuming you went your own way. You found the zombie the other way. But that's all right. All right, so this is the main hall. Now, to save the game, you need to go to this typewriter. You can save your progress with this. Will you use the ink ribbon? So this is your save point. So no, this is not a game that auto-saves. You have to manually save. And you are limited by the amount of ink ribbons that you have. So one ink ribbon equals one save. So what is a typewriter, you might ask? Well, for those of you who were born before the 2000s, or before after the 2000s, you probably have no idea what a typewriter is. So typewriter was a writing device that you would have in your home or your office, and that's how you wrote papers. You know, like a report, or a book report for school, or a letter to somebody. Not many people had computers to do it, so you would have a typewriter. And the thing about typewriter is, it was a machine that you would feed a piece of paper into, and like a keyboard, it would have keys for every letter of the alphabet and numbers. And every time you hit a key, it would slap the piece of paper with a piece of ink, wet ink, that would be in the shape of the letter that you're typing. Now the thing is, you couldn't make any mistakes. If you made a typo, you had to start the whole thing over again. You had to rip that paper out and move on to the next, try it all over again. So this was a very antiquated word processor, I guess is the easiest way to put it. Obviously, typewriters aren't around anymore, but in the time of Resident Evil, 1996, there were still typewriters that you would find in homes or offices. It was still a novelty. Obviously now, in 2022, nobody has a typewriter, but... First time I played Resident Evil 2 on N64, I had no idea saves were limited. until I ran out of ink ribbons, and I was so disgusted I never really went back to finish it. A+ description of ancient technology. Yeah, right? You had an electric typewriter. Ooh, I've never seen those. Okay, so this is the main hall. Now, like Linda said, there are multiple paths you could take. Now, Barry went through that door that I just came through. He told me to go through this door. This is basically where the game wants me to go. But I could really go if I wanted to. I can go up these stairs. Or I could... This is the door we came through. I could see what's there. Oh-ho! Alright. The dogs that were chasing us in the opening movie are still out there. It's too dangerous to go outside. Alright. So notice how the camera angles mess with you, right? The whole idea, again, back in 1996, I mean, you hear this song, too. You know, these camera angles kind of are made to look like somebody watching me. Am I truly alone? You know, it's meant to mess with you. And for some people thought the camera angles were annoying. People, like myself, thought it added so much to the tension, to the atmosphere. You know? Which is really cool. So, you know what? I'm going to buck the trend, and I'm going to go back over here. Because the game wants me to go one way, but I want to go this way and see what's going on. So again, using tank controls, even though the camera angle is changing, I am keeping momentum here. Is it hanging outside of the border? You know what? It probably is. You know what? You're right. You're right. It did, it is out of the border one. So you know what? Let me fix that. Thank you, E.C. Myers, for catching that. So let me move that. And thank you so much. You know what? Sometimes this doesn't automatically adjust. There we go. All right. That should be better. Sorry about that. Okay, so there are puzzles and things to do in this game. And so you may be noticing, if I look at my inventory, right? So there's a couple things to look at. These are with Jill. Jill, there are two characters you can pick in this game. You can either pick Jill Valentine or Chris Redfield. Jill is the way to go if it's your first playthrough. I would say she's the more fun playthrough. So normally she has 8 slots, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Chris only has 6. Jill has... they both start off with a knife and a gun and a first aid spray, which heals you. Now you may be noticing, why do I have weapons here? Like a rocket launcher and an Uzi and a key. So the game rewards you for beating the game under a certain time. So in Resident Evil 1, if you beat the game, this is the PC version of the game. If you beat the game under 3 hours, you unlock a save file with special weapons, such as the rocket launcher, which kills everything in one hit, or the Uzi, submachine gun, called an Ingram. It also gives you a key, which opens up a special door, which lets you change your outfit. So again, yes, Jill has 8 slots for her inventory. She also has a lockpick, which is not shown here, but a lockpick that is used to open up a whole bunch of doors that with Chris you would normally need a key to open. So Jill bypasses a lot of the early game with her lockpick. He's Kenneth from the S.T.A.R.S Bravo team. Now he's become a mere shadow of his former self. So this, normally if I were to go this way, I would encounter the first zombie here. but since I went through the door, it was an alternate cutscene where Barry kills the zombie. Now, if you investigate his body, normally he has handgun ammo, but he doesn't here. I think the handgun ammo only happens when you encounter the zombie. So I think Jill can't open these doors. Yep, it's locked from inside. There's 2 more doors here. Actually, this one uses the lockpick. This one is locked. So, like, for example, here, if I was Chris, I would need a key to open this, but Jill uses the lockpick. So I can bypass that whole area. Now, I don't need to go here just yet, so I'm just going to skip that. Again, with the PC version, I can skip the loading screens if I want. And what I'm going to do is, let's see, what, I don't need this just yet. I want to clear my inventory. Alright, so the game wants me to go. Now again, I could go upstairs if I wanted to. I could investigate these doors, but this door's locked. A carving of armor. Alright, so at some point I'm going to find a key that has armor on it, and that'll be the specific key to open this door. But I can open these doors here. This is where the game wants me to go right now. Right, so now I'm in a little art gallery. Nothing unusual. Again, you don't have to investigate these things, but I like to do that. A beautiful oil painting. A picture of beautiful scenery. Alright. A picture of a steep scenery. Nothing unusual. Alright, look at this camera angle here, right? So as I mentioned, everything is a 2D object. But look, this little staircase is 3D. And look at this statue of the lady holding a vase of us. Look up there. There's a 3D object. It looks like a roll of paper. So what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to get it. What I need to do is I need to push this staircase towards the statue. Then I can climb up. And I can retrieve what this is. It's a map of the first floor. Will you take it? Yes. You got the map of the first floor. Alright. A picture of a chubby woman. Alright, so there's a... It might be a little dark. It's dark for me too. There is a desk, a drawer here, which I can push. Opens this hallway. Look at that, there's a zombie right there. Now this is the first instance of a troll. Now, you would think the zombie's dead. But the only way to really know a zombie is dead is if on the sides of their body they have a pool of red blood. And it doesn't. Now this version of Resident Evil, if I aim, notice how it snaps to the zombie. That tells me the zombie's not dead. So if you were playing your first time, you walk to it, he'll bite you. But no, we're not falling for that. No, see? See that red blood that popped out? That means he's dead for good. So just a pro tip, if you're playing for the first time, to avoid the zombie biting you and taking damage, that's what you do. You always, just rule of thumb, if you see a zombie on the ground and he doesn't have a pool of red blood, he is not dead. Alright, so I have used the lockpick. Alright, so again, with Chris, you would need a specific key to open that door, but Jill bypasses a lot of this early stuff with the lockpick. Again, which is why her playthrough is considered to be easy mode. These are some amazing survival skills. Appreciate the... Well, again, the whole idea, even though this is a scary game, my thing here is I want to educate about maybe some of the design choices of the game, strategies and things like that. Okay, forewarning, there is a jump scare coming up on this next screen. So please, just be forewarned. I'm giving you a spoiler right now. There's going to be a legendary jump scare, which was Again, back in 1996, when we first played this, we never knew it was happening because this was before the internet. So, most of you who are here in the chat have played this, but just in case there's a younger person watching, or a parent, I'm just giving you forewarning, there is going to be on the very next screen a jump scare. Okay, so I'm going to proceed in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go. So again, this is like the first time you're playing. Oh, look at that. See that dog that came out in the door before? Ah, see? So again, I've seen it a million times, so it doesn't affect me, but when you are a young child playing this, or even adults, you never knew that was coming. You know, you never would have thought. So it messes with you. All right, so notice again, as I mentioned, everything you see is 2D. But wait, this table here, this drawer is 3D. Why is it 3D? Is it hiding something? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So in order to reset to the original position, you just leave and come back. So then maybe if I push it this way, maybe there's something here. There isn't. Okay. Not everything will mean there's something there, but in most cases there is. All right. Another jump scare happening. It's going to be the same thing, just from another angle. So I'm going to proceed, just forewarning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Happened twice. Who would have thought, right? Now I'm going to go Rambo on the dog. Alright. Now, I'm pretty sure if I push this one, there's an item here. So these would be handgun bullets. So normally, if I had the handgun, I would have ammo. But since I have a gun with infinite ammo, I don't need to pick this up anymore. I'm fine. Again, you can always investigate things, creepy stuff. Linda screamed. The jump scare really did scare me and made me yell. My family was mad at you. Well, again, different times, you know. This was before the internet. So this stuff was scary. It legitimately was. And look, you get a nice close-up. This is probably the only close-up you get in the game of what your characters actually look like. So this is Jill. And if you leave the control without moving anything, she gets impatient. She's like Sonic. You know, ever played a Sonic game and you don't move, and Sonic like looks at the screen and is like, hurry up, let's go. Well, that's what she's doing. And then got my Uzi. So the Uzi, there's a bit of a glitch here on the PC. Whatever reason, the model, there's no texture on the weapon. It should look like this. But for whatever reason, there's some kind of glitch with the rendering. And it doesn't look like that. So it is what it is. The gun still functions. Okay, so look at this. Anytime there's a 3D object in the 2D background, that means you can interact with it. So this is a green herb, right? So you would pick this up because it heals you. So this is a healing item. So how do you look at your health? Well, if you open up your inventory screen and you look on the very bottom there, that EKG that says fine, green. So that's your health. So your health has 3 different colors to indicate how your health is. Green means you're fine. Yellow means caution, meaning you're still okay, but you've taken some damage. It would be a good idea to heal. Then there's red, meaning danger. meaning if you take 1 or 2 more hits, you're probably going to die. So, you know, there are different healing things in the game. For example, this green herb here. It's a local herb. So this heals you a little bit. Doesn't heal you by a lot. First aid spray, on the other hand, will heal you completely. So this is kind of like a last resort. Let's say you're on red danger. You take this and you will go back to green. You don't find a lot of first aid sprays, so you want to try to conserve. Now, I can go a couple different ways. Pretty sure I need a key for this. Yep. Carving of armor. See what I mean before? There was another door that needed an armor key. So I'll eventually get that key. Now, there's a restroom here that I can go in. There's a bathtub. And a toilet. Nothing useful. Now again, this is all 2D. None of this is 3D. So again, the game is telling me there's not really anything I can interact with here. But look at that. Cool little thing. The mirror has a reflection. So that's pretty neat. You know? The funny thing is the reflection, it's a lower polygon, lower quality polygon than the one Jill is here. But, nope, I can't interact with anything here, so there's nothing in this room. Again, sometimes you'll find rooms that don't have anything that you... But, just something to explore. Don't be a Jill sandwich, yeah. There's another piece of art here. So again, this is all 2D, so basically I'm just moving around invisible polygons here. Alright, so I actually can't, I shouldn't go in here just yet. There's something that happens here. You know what? I don't even have enough space, so I'm gonna go back to it later. I'm gonna go drop off inventory to clear up my inventory here. There's a zombie. Alright. He's not dead though. No pool of blood. Now he's dead. Another zombie. He's dead. Anytime you see the pool of red, that means they are dead. Alright. I know the layout of the map, so... Okay, you unlocked it, see? I used the lockpick. So that helps me unlock the door. There's another zombie here. And he is dead. I wish I had time to enjoy these pictures. Look at these camera angles, right? You know, again, is somebody watching me from the balcony up above? I don't know, right? That's the whole idea the whole camera angles is going for. There's more herbs here. Now this room is what is called a save room. So there are never enemies here. This is kind of like your breathing room. So now I'm going to open up this trunk, and this is my inventory here. So I get to drop off things I don't need. And I am just, you know what, I'm OCD. So I am going to combine items to make less space. So this is one of the key things of Resident Evil. Inventory management. So basically these chests are where you can stash everything. You know what though? I just don't like... I always like leaving my weapon up top. That's just me though. You don't have to do that. Again, another 3D item right here, so it means I can investigate it. Will you take the chemical? What is this chemical, you might ask? Well, always investigate your items. Go to check and see what it says. A chemical to kill the weeds, right? Okay, so it's vague. I know what it's for, which I'll show you a little bit later. But I don't need it just yet, so I'm going to go ahead and put this back. I don't need to save because I know I'm good. But if you're, you know, a little unsure of yourself, it doesn't hurt to save. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up another green herb. And then I could combine the herbs to make a more powerful herb. It's a mixture of 2 green herbs. So what does that mean? So instead of just 1 green herb, I can combine 2, and that'll heal me even more than just 1 herb. Mixing your herbs is very important, especially when you get to the later game stages, where things can hurt you, actually. So I'm going to go back here. Rax the Great, what's up, my man? Happy Friday to you. Was this made in RE Engine? Absolutely. Only the latest and greatest for Resident Evil. Alright, so now I'm going to go back to the Jill sandwich part. Now, with Jill, this you get helped. If you do this as Chris, you need to figure out the solution. There's a puzzle happening here in this next room. Now, with Jill, you don't need to worry about it, because Barry's kind of like your assistant, he's your helper. Alright, so in this room, what I want to do... Again, I like to investigate, though. A tapestry, nothing unusual. Again, the game lets you investigate stuff, so why not take the time to, you know, to look around and see what's going on. An urn with a beautiful picture on it. Nothing unusual. Rule of thumb, anytime you see anything 3D, that means you can investigate with it or interact with it in some way. Alright, this is a shotgun. Will you take the shotgun? Notice that lever moved, right? Okay. So I got a shotgun now. Remington M870, a pump-action shotgun. Alright. TV games, what's up, man? Happy Friday to you. Alright, so there is a puzzle. Technically, with Jill, you're able to do this without punishment. If you do this with Chris, you will be punished. So basically, to not give too much of a spoiler, this gun is holding a switch, right? So I'm supposed to put something to take its place. But this is a little too early. So with Jill, you're able to get away with it. With Chris, though, like I said, you need to find the solution to that puzzle. Alright, it's a trap. And wait a minute, what's this? The doors are locked? Alright, I will mention this. There are a few occasions where the game will glitch out as Jill. It has happened to me before on PlayStation, where the, I never get saved. But I like to just check the doors.
Hey, what's going on?
There you go.
Jill? Is that you, Jill? What happened?
Barry, help me, please. The door won't open. Quick!
Stay away from the door, Jill. I'm gonna kick this door down. Hurry! This way!
First person running through the door, look at that. Immersion.
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life.
Yeah.
But Barry, didn't you say you're going back to the dining room to do some research? Why on earth are you here?
I just had something I wanted to check. Now, let's get back to searching for the lost captain and Chris, shall we?
Thank you, Barry.
Yeah. Now, you know, why isn't he just staying with me? You know, you figure these guys are police officers. They'd stick together, but nope. Let's all go our separate ways. That's, you know, not suspicious at all. You know, it's all good. Make sure he does his part. Yeah, you know, you were almost a Jill sandwich. Alright, so, you know, I don't need the shotgun either, because I'm good. I got this Uzi. Now again, the Uzi you unlock if you beat the game in under 3 hours, which I did a long time ago. So I earned this, you know. But again, this Uzi is only in the PC version of the game. It was not in the PlayStation or Saturn releases. So the Uzi is exclusive to the computer version. So you can go Rambo on everyone. Alright, so where do I go next? Well, a couple places I can go. Again, like Linda mentioned, this is like a choose-your-own story, right? I can go up the stairs and explore, or I can see what's in the rest of this hallway here. There's this door. This door's locked. Carving of a helmet. Alright, so this is a different key. Now this door, I can go in. This is a puzzle. So again, Resident Evil is all about puzzles. The title is All Living Things Are Destined to Die. Right, so that's a hint. There's a bunch of crows here. So, I will give you a tip. Don't run and don't shoot your gun. If you don't run or don't shoot your gun, the crows will not attack you. So there's going to be a whole bunch of pictures here. So for example, a picture of a tired middle-aged man. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Yes or no? No. There's a specific order in which you want to do this. A picture of a newborn baby. There's a switch below. Will you push it? I'm going to say yes. So again, the image that was here in the beginning is called All Living Things Are Destined to Die, right? So it's kind of giving you a hint. And you'll notice, again, I know this because I've done this a million times, but the whole idea is each picture is a stage of life. Picture of a young man. There's a switch. Will you push it? No. So you're kind of going from birth to death is what you're looking at. Picture of an infant. There's a switch below. Will you push it? I was newborn. Then there's infant. Yes. Picture of a lively boy. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Yes. Picture of a bold-looking old man. There's a switch below. Will you push it? No. Again, I'm going from newborn, infant, young boy, young man. Switch below. Will you push it? Yes. Then on this other side, there was a middle-aged man, which I want to go to. Tired middle-aged man. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Yes. Then I want to go to the old man, which I saw on the left, which is over here. Will you push it? Yes. Alright, and then when you're done, you want to go to this one here. A picture of people mourning for the dead. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Yes. So I'm going from birth all the way through the stages of life, death. Will you take the star crest? Yes. What is the star crest? A carving of the star. Alright. So you're going to find a bunch of these. Now I could run now, because I already did the puzzle. I'm fine. Creepy music. Alright. So then I want to make my way over to this door. Now there's going to be another dog waiting for me here. I just want to wait for the dog to show up. There it is. Alright, there he goes. So now with these crests, they go in this little slot here. When the sun sets in the west and the moon rises in the east, stars will begin to appear in the sky, and wind will blow towards the ground. Then the gate of new life will open. Alright. Door's locked. So again, another puzzle. So what I'm supposed to do here, I put one of these crests here. There it is. So there's going to be 3 more crests that I need to find, which will then open this door. Oh, whoops, I interacted with it again. Again, there's no way to skip it, unfortunately. That's my mistake. So that basically leads you outside of the mansion, but there's still plenty of the mansion to explore. Alright. So where do I go now? Well, I don't have any keys yet, so the only way to go really is up. But what I want to do actually, because I remembered, there is a green herb over here. And I would suggest hoarding your herbs. Oh no, I picked it up, never mind. I'm good. You want to gather all your herbs and put them in the save room. That way you have everything together in one spot. Saves a lot of time. Loading screen for the stairs. Alright, there's 2 zombies up here. Right, he's dead. There's going to be another zombie here. He's dead, remember? Red pool of blood on the sides, that means that they are dead. Now, there's actually another zombie over here. At least I remember there being one. No? Okay, with Chris, there's a zombie. With Jill, there isn't. Okay. This door is locked, pretty sure. Carving of armor. Okay. This door's locked from the other side. Doorknob is broken. You unlocked it. Alright, so this is the only way I can go right now. Another zombie. He's dead. So I can go in here. Again, all about exploration. Now you notice in this camera angle, notice that book there in green. It's 3D. So anytime there's a 3D item, that means it's something you can investigate, or something you can interact with in some way. So always take the time to look at it. Botany book about medicinal herbs. As you may know, there are many plants that have medical effects. Since ancient times, humans have been healing wounds and diseases using various plants. In this book, we're going to sample 3 herbs that grow around the Raccoon Mountain and give their outlines as examples of those plants with medical properties. Each herb has different colors and different effects as medical plants. The green one recovers physical strength, the blue one neutralizes natural toxins, while the red herb does not have any effect by itself. The red herb is only effective when it is mixed with other herbs. For example, if you mix this herb with the herb that recovers physical strength, the green one, the recovery effect will be tripled. By adjusting the amount and experimenting with these 3 herbs, you can create various kinds of medicines, but I'll leave the details in your hand, because that's the best way to acquire true knowledge. Oh, you're doing Resident Evil 3 Remake? Nice. I have yet to play that. I've actually yet to play Resident Evil 2 Remake or 3 Remake. I haven't gotten around to those just yet. Alright, so this is actually, if I go through this door, it's going to lead me back out into the hallway that I was just in. I know a lot of people give a Resident Evil 3 Remake a lot of, bad word of mouth, but again, Resident Evil 3, when it first came out, was a very short game. It wasn't long. I know a lot of big critique is that the game is short. Resident Evil 3 was short too, so I don't, again, I haven't played it, but, I don't see that as being a problem. Oh, another zombie. Right, he is dead. Another locked door. There's a lot of armor keys here, so hopefully I can get the armor keys soon. I love 2, and 3 is really fun also.
Barry!
Doesn't exactly remind me of 3, really, but I really like it. Okay.
No, but something's wrong with this house.
Whoa.
This hall is dangerous.
Maybe it's better to secure our escape route first. There must be a back door somewhere. Let's try to find it first, shall we?
Okay, let's separate again.
Just a moment.
Just a moment.
I found something.
What is it?
It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Better take it with you.
But how about you, Barry?
I have this.
Thank you. I'll take this then.
Ah, you got the acid round. So this is ammunition for a weapon you get later on. See ya, Barry. Again, we're splitting up again. Why are we doing that? I don't know. They took out like an hour extra of gameplay. It took out major parts. Yeah, I heard they got rid of the whole clock tower segment. I did hear that. Now again, I haven't played it, so I can't speak to that, how it affects the game. But again, Resident Evil 3, when it first came out on PlayStation, you know, Code Veronica originally was going to be Resident Evil 3. So that's where all of the development money and budget went into for the Sega Dreamcast. But Capcom, well, Sony was kind of a little miffed, and they were like, well, Resident Evil 1 and 2 were on PlayStation, so then why are you going to debut a new one, not on our system? So Capcom was like, oh, okay, well, I guess we do need to give you something. So they ended up doing Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. But Resident Evil 3 reuses a lot of the assets from Resident Evil 2. And you can tell it's not... The budget wasn't really put in that game like it was Code Veronica. So a lot of things were sacrificed. And kind of like Resident Evil 3 Remake, all of Capcom's major resources were pushed on Resident Evil 8 Village. So Resident Evil 3 Remake was made by a smaller studio. They didn't have all the money and resources, so they didn't have the time or the money to be able to recreate the game fully. Whether or not that's the right decision, again, I can't say because I haven't played the game. But it mirrors the original release of Resident Evil 3 in a lot of ways, too. Listen to this music. Very spooky song right here. One thing about Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil, the music was so good. Now again, there are different releases of Resident Evil 1. There's this one, which is the original release. There's also Director's Cut. And there's also the DualShock Director's Cut. Now, the DualShock Director's Cut changes the music entirely. There's a completely different soundtrack. Much maligned. It is not good. It is terrible. With the exception of like 2 or 3 songs, which are pretty good, everything else is just horribly bad. Does not fit the mood of the game at all. So if you're going to play Resident Evil 1, make sure it's either the vanilla release or better yet, Director's Cut. Director's Cut does add some extra modes, extra costumes, and it also changes some of the camera angles and also the location of items. So it's like a remix. Let me catch up here on the chat. RE3 felt more like DLC for RE2. Code Veronica was more like Part 3. Yes, exactly, which is exactly what I meant, what I said before, yeah. Code Veronica was originally going to be Resident Evil 3, because it is a major entry in the franchise. But then Capcom last second was like, wait a minute, We do need to release something for PlayStation, so let's do it. I hope this blood isn't from my teammates. Very ominous, right? You're like, what's going on? No puzzles either for Remake 3. Really? No puzzles at all? That's crazy. Puzzles don't even need for you to think. A weapon. Powerful for living things? What else would you use a weapon for? Well, could use it to file your taxes. You could use it to park your car. Oh, look. All right. There's a body here. And look, there's a weapon. Is this the weapon that is used against living things? Oh, find out. Will you take the grenade gun, also known as the bazooka? Explosive rounds loaded. Yep, this is the weapon that's extremely powerful against living things. So it has different types of ammo. Right now it has explosive rounds. Then these are acid rounds. It's Forrest. He's been pecked to death by crows. So Forrest is one of your teammates. Forrest Spire. Oh, crows. Alright, I want to leave. Because the crows will hit me. But it might behoove me to go back. Anytime you come back to a room, it resets things. Now, I could if I wanted to. Just go Rambo on all of them. And they're no longer a threat. Right, he doesn't have any items to pick up. So that's fine. Fun fact, if you play Director's Cut, Forrest actually does come back to life as a zombie, and you do have to fight him. But in the vanilla release, that is not the case. RE2 original PS version, and Code Veronica were the only REs you finished. No kidding, TV. Wow. You see, it blows my mind that people played RE2 without playing RE1. That's wild to me. But again, different times, especially, you know, not everyone could afford to get all these games at once. So yeah, you know, most people, like, you know, even me, I had to rent these games at Blockbuster or find a friend who had it. So now this is the second floor of the dining room where you started off in the game. Ah, but see, now there's zombies here. All right, he's dead. There's another zombie over here. Now if I run, I could potentially... Oh, but nope. I don't think he's dead. Nope. He's dead. Alright. So there's a bit of a puzzle here. See this statue just hanging out? Well, I need to push it into this empty area here where there's no railing. Push it over. Then I want to investigate. So what I want to do is I want to go back here. Go down the stairs. And again, there's no actual stairs here. It's just a 2D image. So what they're doing is Capcom put invisible stairs here to mimic me going up. But I'm not actually going up the stairs, because the stairs are just a static 2D image. You know, technology at work. It's a wonderful thing. For clarity, the weapon would not be useful against Forrest, as he is not living. Yes, he is a dead thing, so I don't think it'll work very well on him. You're right. I remember seeing the commercials and being so hyped for each game as it was released. Yeah, you know. With all of you here, how many, outside of TV games, did you all play the original Resident Evil? Will you take the emblem? Yes, I will take the emblem. Again, I always like to investigate items. There's a scratch. Someone may have used it, right? Don't really see the scratch here, but it's alright. I'll come back. That's another puzzle. So, remember the room I came into here before? Well, now there's another puzzle I can figure out, which will give me another item I need. Right, so this is a bar. right? With a piano, a fine grand piano. Now again, this was an era of games where they didn't really explain to you things. Things were kind of vague, obtuse. You had to figure this stuff out on your own. This is a different era of gaming. You know, even Resident Evil games now are different. You know, you would go into an area and you can open up your map, or in the HUD, there'd be an arrow or a green dot telling you where you need to go. Now, if I open up the map in here, what does this tell me? Well, you need to look at the instruction manual if you want to figure it out. But so in this map, green means it's a room I've been in. Red means it's the room I'm currently in. And then the things that are clear are rooms that I have not opened yet. So that's reading the map here. But it's still not telling me where I need to go. It never tells you that. I need to figure that out on my own. So this puzzle here, fairly simple, but again, simple because I figured it out a long time ago. First time players though, you see there, again, rule of thumb, anytime there's a 3D object in the image, that means it's something you can interact with. So there's a shelf here, I push up against it. Look at this, there's another 3D item here. I investigate. Will you take the music score? Yes. And always rule of thumb, investigate. The title is Moonlight Sonata, which for those of you who don't know, that is a very infamous track from Beethoven. So what do? Well, I have music notes, there's a piano, so maybe I should use the music notes and see what happens. John JT, what's up, buddy? Happy Friday to you. Welcome to the NPL Video Game Club. You played it on PS1 as a kid, but did you play the original Resident Evil, or was it director's cut? I'm curious, out of those of you who played, what did you play vanilla Resident Evil 1? Or did you play director's cut? Or the DualShock director's cut, the one with the really terrible music? Metroidvania, well again, this was before that term was coined. And I definitely wouldn't call this a Metroidvania. It has the backtracking of Metroid, yes, but it's a whole different style. It's Moonlight Sonata. I hope this stream doesn't get copyright stricken from this. Spoiler, Beethoven comes back to life and you have to fight him as a boss. Wouldn't that be a trip? Alright, so this door just opened, right? Okay. Investigate. Oh, you see there's another emblem. Will you take the gold emblem? Why, yes, I will. Oh. Wait a minute. Alright, here's the funny part. If I did not have this other emblem with me, I would have no way out of here. Right? Again, a thing you would only know if you've played this multiple times. So, what do I need to do? Well, the emblem I found in the dining room, I put in the place of the one I just grabbed. And now it opens the door again, so I can leave. Speaking of Metroidvania, doesn't this bus look like Simon Belmont? Right? I'm assuming it's meant to be Beethoven, because that's the song I played, but I'm just thinking Simon Belmont, but that's just me. Alright, so that is that puzzle. Now again, imagine if you went through all this trouble, and you got stuck in that room, and you didn't save. Oh boy, you gotta start the whole game over again. Well, tough luck. That's just the way things were back then. Nobody complained. It was a different era of gaming. Alright, so now, well, I put in one emblem and I took the one from here, so it would only make sense that I put this one in there, right? It just is the thing that makes sense to me. So I'm going to do that. Oh, whoops, hold on. Ah, that 3D clock. Look at that. Oh, wait a minute, boy. Here we go. See, this game is all about puzzles. Will you take the mansion key? Yes, so this is probably going to open up doors that I couldn't get to before. Like I said, investigate items. Nothing important. Ah, but you want to turn it around. A carving of a shield. Alright, so that is one. Right? Again, I don't need to save just yet. I'm good. It's locked. Carving of armor. Okay. I'm going to go back up here. And I'm going to go this way. Because every door up to this point was armor or helmet. Luckily, zombies don't respawn, so if you kill them, you don't have to worry about them coming back. There is one point in the game where enemies do respawn, but it's at the very tail end of the game. Alright, so go through here. Waves and Games, what's up? Let me catch up here on the chat. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it. AV Game says, the original Resident Evil in the PlayStation long box with the FMV intros. The tank controls wasn't doing it for me at first, so I didn't give it much attention. Spend my energy on Warhawk. Ooh, the flying, the ship game, yeah. So, I actually showed it earlier. I do have, well, let me show it to you again. My Resident Evil collection. So I have Resident Evil Deadly Silence on the DS, which is the only portable version of Resident Evil 1. That I'm aware of, officially. So that one changes. It is this game, but it does add some things like a first-person, like knife slashing segments, and it does add some puzzles with the DS touchscreen, so there's that. Speaking of the long box, right here. Resident Evil 1 long box and all of its cardboard glory. Yes, and believe it or not, fun fact, the guy on the cover, it's not Chris. A lot of people assume it's Chris Redfield. It is not. It's actually a character, there was a comic book that was released before the game came out. And it is the name of that character in the comic book. I forget his name, but it is not Chris Redfield. And last but not least, Resident Evil on the Sega Saturn. Very uncommon. This game, I think, goes for, I don't know, $150 to $200 nowadays. I got it for $50 back in the day. So Resident Evil on Saturn, it is a little unique. It is different from the PlayStation version. It has some additional costumes that are not in the PlayStation version, as well as a reskin of the Hunter creature, and it also has a golden tyrant that you fight, as well as a battle mode, which is kind of a precursor to the mercenaries mode that everybody loves these days. So you can say I'm a little bit of a fan of Resident Evil. I should make video games. I have ideas. Absolutely, Rax. Go ahead, man. Shouldn't Beethoven's music be in the public domain? Well, unless some weird internet persona decided to gain its rights somehow. Yeah, who knows, right? Who knows? I thought it was Vigo from Ghostbusters too. Vigo! Vigo! Oh, imagine that. Imagine seeing a Vigo painting in this game. That'd be awesome. The library let you play this? Well, it's not about letting me play. I'm pretty much dictating. I made the rule myself to do rated T games. Now, this is a rated M game, but the whole idea here is, you know, I want this to be an educational playthrough as well. You know, I'm talking about factoids of the game, giving prep time for any jump scares. And again, it's kind of funny when you watch it now. It's not overly gory to the point where, you know, especially compared to games nowadays. It's safe, I think, because people don't swear in this game. There's no nudity. It's just pixelated blood. I think it's not as bad as people would think it aims to be. But again, aside from all that, I'm giving some details as to why things are the way they are in this game. Starting all over, I love a good challenge. Yes. You need to strategically save in the game because you don't have infinite saves. They lend out horror books, why not? Am I going to complete? No, I don't have enough time because I only got about 20. I mean, I'll go a little longer than 6 o'clock today, but no, at the pace I'm going, I'm not going to complete this game in any foreseeable time. Now, I was going to announce this at the end of the stream. I will be taking 2 weeks off. So the next 2 Fridays, I will not be here. I'm actually going to be traveling out of state for a family wedding. So I will actually not be around to stream. That said, this is a lively chat, more than what I'm used to. If you feel that you would like me to continue this playthrough, I'm certainly all for it. I can leave a poll in the... well, actually, you know what? I can leave a poll... I can make a poll here on YouTube. Let's see. Should I continue RE1 on the next stream? Yes or no? And I'll ask you, and you tell me, what you feel. But yeah, I will not be here for the next 2 weeks. So I'll be back in November. I never travel, but this was a cousin's wedding, of which I'm going to be the best man, so I do need to travel. So if you feel the need that I can continue this, then I'll certainly do that. I just figured I wanted to do this for Halloween to try to change it up. This is as spooky as a game will get. Perfect for Halloween. But if you'd like me to continue, then hey, that's cool. I'll do it. I really wish Sony stuck with those cardboard long boxes. Yeah, right. The thing is that the long boxes, they're fragile. All right, so there's zombies here. Now again, I'm trivializing the difficulty with this gun, but this gun you only get if you beat the game under a certain time. So again, for those of you who are popping in, this Ingram, which is a submachine gun, you unlock this if you beat the game in under 3 hours. So, like 3 years ago, I sped run this game as Jill, and I unlocked the rocket launcher and the Uzi. Obviously, you don't normally get this, but I just figured to make this a little more of a casual playthrough and to have some fun with it, and to show you how it breaks the difficulty of the game. But again, you earn it because you beat the game in a quick time. I forget if there's another zombie here. No, there isn't. All right. It's locked. Carving of a helmet. This door is also locked. You need a passcode. Now, a lot of people get stuck with this door. I will give you a hint that there's an optional cutscene that you activate as Jill, that you get the code, but a lot of people miss it. So if you want me to continue this playthrough, I'll show you how to get it. But that will not be today, because I will not get to that point. That's a little further down in the game. There's another zombie here. Right, he's done. I recently purchased the Resident Evil triple pack on PlayStation 4. I'll finally be playing RE4 for the first time. It also includes 5 and 6. Nice. Listen to this calming music. This is a save room. So a save room means you are safe. No enemies. So you are good. Vitamins and serums. Alright, so what I want to do is, again, the chest is your friend. Now what I want to do, always combine your items. Save space. So I want to put that there. The grenade gun. There we go. I've just consolidated. I have 4 more slots. I'm good to go. So a save room is kind of like a timeout room. You don't have to worry about enemies being there, and you're fine. Now, what I do want, though, is I want to grab the chemicals, herbicide. I will be needing that in the hallway to come. Alright, he's dead. Now again, if you don't have enough ammo, your choice, your only option is to juke and jive these zombies, you know. You have to avoid them. Armor key, okay. Now this hallway, there's going to be another zombie right here. Alright, there's another zombie right over here. Right? And you know what? I messed up. I actually need to, Alright, you know what? There is... I think it's there. Is it there? Yeah. There's a jump scare coming up, which I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to use the shotgun as a... Just as a tip, you can one-hit kill enemies with the shotgun. I'm just going to show it this one time. So there's a jump, well, kind of a jump scare coming up in this room. Nothing special. I will tell you when it's happening. None of them. There's handgun bullets here, but again, I don't need that. Alright, so some of you may know this room. You may recognize it. So I will, before the jump scare, I will just catch up on the chat here. That's true, it's really not as scary as it was when it first... Yeah, but also I'm, you know, giving all these details and stuff and talking through it, so to not give the tension, you know, it's due diligence, just in case there's any younger viewers watching. Congrats to your family member on the winning. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. And for November, frustrating yet exciting retro party games. What type of retro party games are you talking about? Congrats on your cousin's nuptials. Thank you. And congrats on being best man. I'm actually second time. I was best man for my brother's wedding way back in 2009. And I'm also going to be best man for this wedding next week. I have to head out, do some work. Have a happy Halloween. Yes. TV Games, happy Halloween to you as well. Thank you for stopping by. RE4 is great. Yes, I wish I could play that on here, but unlike this one, they curse at you in both English and Spanish, and there is a ton of gore in that game, so yeah. Going on the lines of classic Mario Party. Ah, well, that's a game in a true test of your friendship, you know. Alright, so there is an upcoming jump scare. Alright, so I'm going to give you some forewarning. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Ooh. Aim up with the shotgun. Boom. His head goes off. Goodbye. There goes that. Shotgun shells. Yes. Alright, so this is a really awesome part of the game here. So yes, when you have the shotgun, if there's a zombie coming towards you, aim up. Aim up and shoot. Don't shoot down. If you shoot low, you could blow off their legs, but they're still alive. Aim up and shoot. One hit kill. Alright, this is a really awesome part. So again, the lore of the game is mostly given in these files that you have to read, which are really, really cool. I've also been the best man for 2 weddings. Nice. I can see why that moment would be terrible. Yes. Back in 1996, that was a jump scare. Without further ado, this is the Keeper's Diary. May 9th, 1998. At night, we played poker with Scott the guard. Alias and Steve the Researcher. Steve was really lucky, but I think he was cheating. What a scumbag. You know what, now that I think, I don't remember if someone curses here. I'm just gonna... Yeah, I don't think so. May 10th, 1998. Today, a high-ranking researcher asked me to take care of a new monster. It looks like a gorilla without any skin. They told me to feed them live food. When I threw in a pig, they were playing with it, tearing off the pig's legs and pulling out the guts before they actually ate it. May 11th, 1998. Around 5 o'clock this morning, Scott came in and woke me up suddenly. He was wearing a protection suit that looks like a spacesuit. He told me to put one on as well. I heard there was an accident in the basement lab. It's no wonder. Those researchers never rest, even at night. May 12th, 1998. I've been wearing this annoying spacesuit since yesterday. My skin grows musty and feels very itchy. By way of revenge, I didn't feed those dogs today. Now I feel better. May 13th. I went to the medical room because my back is all swollen and feels itchy. They put a big bandage on my back, and the doctor told me I did not need to wear the spacesuit anymore. I guess I can sleep well tonight. May 14th. When I woke up this morning, I found another blister on my foot. It was annoying, and I ended up dragging my foot as I went to the dog's pen. They have been quiet since morning, which is very unusual. I found that some of them had escaped. I'll be in real trouble if the higher-ups find out. May 15th. Even though I didn't feel well, I decided to go see Nancy. It's my first day off in a long time, but I was stopped by the guard on the way out. They say the company has ordered that no one leave the grounds. I can't even make a phone call. What kind of joke is this? May 16th. I heard a researcher who tried to escape from this mansion was shot last night. My entire body feels burning and itchy at night. When I was scratching the swelling on my arm, a lump of rotten flesh dropped off. What the heck is happening to me? May 19th. Fever gone, but itchy. Hungry, and eat doggy food. Itchy, itchy, Scott came. Ugly face, so killed him. Tasty. 4. Itchy. Tasty. So yeah, that is him slowly turning into a zombie. And you would presume it's this guy. So again, this is the lore that you get in the game. Right, so I don't need the shotgun anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that back to the save room. This is just taking up slots in my inventory that I don't need, that I could use for other items. So I'm going to put that there, there. So when I was talking about the chemicals before, I'm going to be using this room here. Now, see there's these vines coming out here. So if I try to get past this without doing what I'm supposed to, those vines are going to keep smacking me, and they're going to eventually hurt me. So what I need to do, see this machine here, an old pump. Water seems to be sent from here. The lid is open. That's giving you a hint. So what you do is you mix the chemicals or herbicide. See how it changes color? And it kills the plants. So now I can proceed and go to the rest of the room with no harm. So that's that puzzle. So there's a bunch of herbs here. So remember the article I read about green and red herbs? Well, what I want to do is I want to grab some red herbs. So the article I read before, red herbs do nothing on their own. But what they do is they amplify the healing factor of a green herb. So I mix red and green, and there I go. So that'll heal me at triple the amount. It'd go, oh yeah, this is all memory to me, John JT. So yeah, this is not my first rodeo. All right, so again, I want to mix these as well. And then when you mix, it takes 2 slots, put it into 1. And now there's 2 herbs here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine the 2 greens. And again, Jill has 8 slots of inventory, so she has 2 more slots than Chris. I only have 1 more slot, but luckily, look at that, there's another key. Right? So I saw a lot of doors with armor, so I'm assuming if I check it, turn it around, it's the armor key. So it's the key that I've needed this whole time. So now I can proceed. But since I don't need all these healing items, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the save room. Notice how I'm moving swiftly. I'm used to the tank controls. Now, for those of you who are not used to them, it can take a lot of getting used to. So now I have 2 keys, and I have 1 first aid spray, which heals me completely. That's all I need. Now, I forgot something before. Remember that statue I pushed in the balcony? So I need to go investigate that. I forgot to do that before. Luckily, this door here brings me back to that first hallway, which then brings me to the dining room. So now, you'll notice, there's something shining here. A blue gem. Blue jewel. Which I will actually use that in the hallway I was just in. It's shining beautifully, so I'm going to go back to where I was, which is right here. And now this room, which I haven't been to, another puzzle. Again, if a room does not have enemies, there's probably a puzzle. It reads, some tigers have a red eye and a blue eye. Alright, red and blue. Well, I have a blue jewel, so I'm going to use that. It opens up and gives me... what is that? A crest. Okay. Will you take the wind crest? Yes, I will. It's going to move back. So at some point, there's going to be a red jewel, which I put in there, and that'll give me another item. Alright, so wind crest. Cool. So that I don't need just yet. But you know what? I can hang on to it because I have enough in my inventory, so I'm good. But now that I have the new key, I could actually investigate this door right here. I've used the armor key. And I can see what's going on in here. Alright, so good thing, a little tip here with Jill. You'll come across these small desks. Normally they're locked. Now with Chris, you would need to find an item called a small key, a desk key. But Jill, since she has the lockpick, you can bypass all that. You just use the lockpick. Open. And usually they have shotgun shells. That's usually what it is. So it comes in very handy. The shotgun you don't need right now, but there comes a point in the game we'll need them. So here there's handgun ammo. And then it's a little dark here, but this is where it's a broken shotgun. So the broken shotgun I would have used in that room where the ceiling came and tried to crush me. Remember where I took the actual shotgun? So this is the safe way to bypass that puzzle without dying. So if you're playing as Chris, you need to get this item first before you can get the actual shotgun. You take the shotgun and then replace it with the broken shotgun, and then the ceiling will crush you. With Jill, though, Barry saves you, so you don't have to. It serves no other purpose, though. That is the only purpose of that prop. But again, you only know that's happening if you go this route. Alright, so I'm going to drop off this shotgun ammo. But before I do that, I'm going to go and combine. Again, always best to consolidate your items, just to make things a little easier for you. Right, so now, I'm going to go up the stairs. I don't have the key for this just yet. That's a helmet. So I'm going to go back around. Then I'm going to go this way. I just need to go to the other side of the hall. Right, which is over here. Again, I got rid of the zombies, so I don't need to worry about that. But this room, I can use the armor key for. Yet another puzzle coming up here. If you don't know what to do, you might die. Heavy-looking suits of armor. Alright, so there's two statues. A thing here. Something can be seen in the showcase. There's two vents. One vent here. And one vent here. Right? So, what you're supposed to do, and it doesn't really matter what order you push the statues in, but you push it. Again, I like to do it in order. That's just me. Not necessarily the right way to do it. So what you're supposed to do is you cover the hole with the statue. Then this statue, push this way. And cover the other hole. Oops, let me get the right angle here. There you go. And then I hit the switch in the middle of the room. There's a switch. Will you push it? Yes. And it opens up the chest, or the cabinet. Now, what if I had pushed this without doing those statues? Well, poison gas would have come out of those vents and it would have killed me. So again, things you only know if you do it beforehand. And look, there's another crest. So I have 3 out of 4 crests already. Pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back down here and go back downstairs. Yes. But again, imagine your first time playing this, you didn't know, right? You wouldn't know until you die. So it's kind of a tough lesson, right? That's the way these games were back then, you know, it's tough love. So I'm going to put these crests in here. So now I only need one more. I know where it is. So I'm going to go back this way. And I'm going to go this way. Now yep, go up here. I should be able to use the key to get this door. And see, with Chris there's a zombie in here, but Jill there isn't. So there's 2 doors I can go through. That's alright, going a little overtime here, that's fine. Right, another item here, which is a lighter, which I need for a specific thing. Again, you're not told what these things are for, you just kind of got to figure it out on your own. Handgun bullets, again, I don't need them, but If you have the handgun, you will absolutely need them. Nope. Sometimes you can investigate items, beds. I don't think it lets you do it though here. Notice there's a red herb over there. Always nice to grab it just in case. Right, another room here. So, alright, what do I see? I see a cabinet and I see an aquarium. Researcher's will. My dear Alma, the fact that you have received this letter is both a joy and a sadness for me. I could not even talk to you because of that guy in the sunglasses. That guy in the sunglasses. Who have you seen in this game that's wearing sunglasses? Alma, be calm and read this. I think I've told you that I moved to a pharmaceutical company's lab. They headhunted me. Last month, there was an accident in the lab and the virus we were studying escaped. All my colleagues who were infected by the virus are dead. To be accurate, they've become the living dead. They still wander around. Some of them are knocking on my room door desperately right now, but there's no sign of intelligence in their eye. That cursed virus takes away all humanity from the human brain. Love, joy, sorrow, fear, humor, eternally. And Alma, even the memories of the days I spent with you. Yes, I'm infected. I did everything I could, but I could only delay the progress by a few days. The most frightening thing is that I forget more about you by the day. So I chose a peaceful death, rather than becoming the living dead. Within an hour, I will have entered my eternal sleep. I do hope you'll understand my decision. Goodbye and forever yours, Martin Crackhorn. Researcher's will has been filed. So you can always go back to these items, if you ever feel the need to. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to investigate this. It seems someone has searched here already. It appears to be a switch. Will you push it? Ah, the aquarium is drained. Alright. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means I can get in here and push this bad boy. Which then means I could take this and push it where the aquarium was. Oh, look! Will you take the explosive round? So this is for that powerful weapon, especially against living things. And look, there's more ink ribbons. Look at that. See, this is why it pays to investigate every door, every nook and cranny. Alright, so luckily there's a save room right here. So I could dump off all this stuff that I just found. Right, so this I want to put here. Ink ribbon. I'll actually mix, where are they? Here. So 9 plus 3, that's 12, right? Put that. Again, I don't need to save just yet. Lighter, I could actually use right now. Do I have a spare green herb? Let's see. Mixed herbs, nope. So I can put that away. Alright, so the lighter I'm going to use right now, actually. I think I should be able to open it. Oh man, imagine it's 96 and your mom is telling you it's time to get off and you have to struggle to get a save point in the... Yeah. The struggle is real. Absolutely. Again, different time. John JT, you weren't around back then, but it was a time to be alive. You know, back then you had to maximize your time with gaming. No autosaves here. Alright, so there is... Wood is put in the stove. The paper is on the wall. Totally vague, right? But I see there's a fireplace. I see there's a paper. So what do I do? Well, the lighter Some fluid is left, alright. Oops. So I'm gonna try using it. I'm lighting the fire with a lighter. Oh, look, that's a map. Look at that. So I can collect that. It's a map of the second floor where you take it. Yes, absolutely. This door's locked. Carving of a helmet, right? So I don't have that key yet. Alright. So the lighter, I know, because I played this, I don't need the lighter anymore. That's the only time you use the lighter. So, I'm good. I can stash it away. And lighter, it's been nice knowing you, but... And you know what? Now I've got a green herb, right? So I can mix it with the red herb. There you go. Another good healing item, which I can put down here. Boom. What have you done this time, Albert? Yeah, right? What a bad guy. Alright, I've yet to save. That's okay. Alright, so there's one other door that I haven't opened just yet. Actually, there's two doors I haven't opened. So you know what? I'm gonna go to the other door. Which is the door down here. So I should be able to open the other door down here. Which is over here. Armor key. Alright. So there's some handgun ammo here. You knew that struggle all too... I think we all did. We all experienced that, you know? But that's... Don't you miss that? Look at real-time reflection in the mirror. That is cool. Small detail. You know, you have to remember, every little bit of real estate on the screen is taking up, excuse me, processing power on the PlayStation. So this was, to have a real-time reflection was pretty wild. Very underrated technical feat. Alright, he's dead. There's a desk here. Again, since I have Jill, I can use the lockpick to open it. It'll give me shotgun shells. And that's okay. Now there's another hallway here, which is going to be another zombie on the floor, crawling. He's crawling towards me. You bad zombie. Alright, so there's herbs. There's an ink ribbon. You definitely want to get all the ink ribbons you could find. Because obviously the more saves, the merrier. Alright, so there's 2 slots, 2 herbs, right? But I can then combine the herbs to take up 1 less space. So that's what I'm going to do. Boom. Another reflection. Look at this, a mirror. So that special key I unlocked from beating the game quickly would be the lock to open this door. So what this closet is, it's a special closet which allows me to change my outfit. That's pretty much it. I can change into 2 different sets of clothes. But again, that's a key you get from beating the game. Alright, so I've done that. So I want to go back here. This stream is like having a good friend that memorized the strategy guide. No, I mean, thank you. That's very kind of you to say, but I am not, I would not call myself an expert. I mean, I'm just running off of memory here. There are lots of, you know, speedrunning tactics and things that you don't need to explore. But again, speedrunning for a stream like this, what I'm trying to do is educate. Speedrunning, you'd be skipping a lot of things that are very important to the game. So, you know, even though you're seeing me backtrack a ton, that's kind of the point of the game, though. Kind of like John JT was saying, Metroidvania, right? Kind of the same thing, pretty much. You're strategically backtracking the places that you need to revisit. All right, 15 ink ribbons, and then all my herbs. I like to keep them down here. I'll leave that there. And yep, so now I can proceed upstairs. There's another piece of dialogue that's coming up, which is going to be really, really good. Again, going a little overtime here. I figure I can go until 6:30. There's actually a boss fight that I want to do, so I think I'll wrap up at that. And then we'll call it for this week. I've used the armor key. Alright. Lurking like a sneaky zombie, yes. Alright, here comes a great part here. So there's herbs here. 2 herbs. Which, I guess I could use. Richard!
What happened?
Get ready for this dialogue here.
Oh, Jill, this house is dangerous. There are terrible demons. Ouch!
You're wounded. What kind of demon attacked you?
It was a huge snake and also poisonous. Ugh.
Poisonous? Richard, hold on.
There is serum. Oh no, I should have brought some with me.
No problem. I'll go and get it.
Thanks.
Alright, so this is a pointless side mission. He wants me to get serum. Now the game now is going to open up the map and tell me where I need to go. So that is telling me, that blinking red, that's where I need to go. So that's on the opposite side of the house. Now the thing is, it's pointless because he dies anyways. So you technically don't even need to do it, but I'm just going to humor the game and do what it wants me to do. But he dies no matter what, so it's, I think by the time you get there, he dies already, so it's a waste of time. Whatever. To my knowledge, there's no way to save him. He's scripted to die no matter what, but the serum would be in here. Because if you investigated here, you would have seen that. It mentioned that there were serums, right? So, if you investigate, only 1 dose is left, right? So then I gotta hightail it and make it back to him. But again, even as fast as I'm going, he's still not gonna make it. So it is pointless. I don't know. I don't remember if there's some type of reward for doing it in time. I don't remember, honestly. I think you get a radio from him, but that's about it. Then back to this door. And back to Richard.
Here's the serum. Richard, hold on.
Yeah, Waves and Games, have a good weekend. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Here's my radio. You should keep it. I'm...
No! Richard!
Oh no, Richard.
Be careful.
Poor Richard. Went out like a boss. Richard is dead. Again, like I said, waste. But if you check his body, there is handgun bullets, so you could get that if you want. So there's a radio that he gave you. Again, if I was running, I would have bumped into that zombie. That wouldn't have been good. So sometimes running is not your best friend, especially if you don't know what's lurking around the corner. Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. I mentioned that you didn't need the lighter anymore, but you actually do. I'm sorry. Luckily, I can find storage room here. So I need the lighter for one more thing in that room. Whoops. Alright, so the lighter, which I have up here. My mistake, but you know what? You can learn from my mistake. I totally forgot about that room. So, I'm gonna go back. Again, over here. Alright, so this is a pitch black room. More handgun bullets. Again, I don't need that. So what you want to do is, you see there's a candle here. Candle, right? Use the lighter. And wow, the room is nice and bright now. So there's ink ribbons here. It's always nice. Alright. And then this shelf that I can move brings me to a hallway. And more acid rounds. Very nice. And that's it. So why are they giving you all this weaponry, right? You start to wonder why. Candle is lit. Alright, so there's handgun bullets there. And that's it. So now I could do this one of two ways. Actually, nope, I don't even have enough space. This boss, I could go about it two different ways. I can either do it without getting hit, which is one cutscene, or I can purposely get hit, which then brings another cutscene. So it's really up to choice, really. So it was acid rounds, which what is fine. Again, you always want to combine like items, so it takes up less space in your inventory. Then ink ribbon. So the lighter I can get rid of. I think I'm actually going to save here. So I don't know, for those of you who are still here, do you want me to try to KO the boss without taking any damage, or do you want me to take damage? Which is technically the game wants you to get hurt, because that's how the story progresses. But there's a slightly alternate route, not alternate, but slightly alternate cutscene if you don't take damage. So I leave that to you, chat. What do you think? And actually, at this point, I think I am going to save, because even with my best intentions, the boss is just wonky with the hitbox, so it's hard to do it without taking any damage. No damage? Okay. People are probably less likely to have seen the no damage. Yeah, I don't remember if there's actually a cutscene, to be honest, but, okay, so you know what? I'm going to save. First save, right? But I have 18 slots, so it's okay. Actually, you know what? Not yet. I'm going to grab those 2 green herbs that were up there with Richard. Because I just want to make sure I clear everything out before I face him. Or face it. So let me do that first. Again, I just like to maximize routes or inventories first. Alright. So I'm going to take those herbs and bring them back down here. Again, lots of backtracking, but that's par for the course with Resident Evil. And you know what? I actually said 6:30, so I'm actually kind of right on time. So what I'm going to do is combine. Alrighty. And then bring those back down. Bring those there. Okay, so I can do this one of two ways. I can one-hit KO the boss with a rocket launcher, or I can just Rambo him and see what happens. I did it with the rocket launcher once. I'm curious to see how many hits with Rambo it takes, so I'm going to go Rambo. Alright, I'm going to save. So I am going to erase my earliest save, which is right here. Boom. Alright. Yeah, Rambo style. Let's go. Thank you all for hanging out still. I really appreciate it. I didn't know how this would turn out, because again, this is a stray from the normal course that I do here. Because again, normally it's always family-friendly stuff, but for Halloween, I do like to change it up. Alright, so this... I'm pretty sure one of the keys gets tossed out here too. Yeah. He is useless now. Do you want to discard? Of course you want to discard it. Why would you want to keep it? Alright, so again, I saved. So in case I mess up, I can just reload the save. Alright. First boss fight. So again, Richard mentioned that there was a terrible demon. Right? So, ouch, he said. So, one would think the terrible demon is here. A giant snake. Alright. So technically... Oh, see? I got bit. See, there it's, that's the tough part. You know what? I don't remember with this. There wasn't a way to go back to the main menu. So I need to exit the game. And I need to reload it. So bear with me one moment. Hopefully it should show up again. I will do this. I will do this. Don't you worry. 1028. Alright. Attempt number 2. Again, so the tricky thing with the boss is the hitbox on him is very, very weird. So his tail, the hitbox is very jumbled, and sometimes you get stuck in it, which is what happened with me. I couldn't get around it. So the speedrunning tactic for the snake is you're supposed to actually get around him, where he comes out from, that hole, and then you grab the item you're supposed to, and then you can just hightail it if you're fast enough without getting bit. But I want to Rambo him and see what happens. See? He got caught on his hitbox again. So that's the thing. The hitbox on the tail, it's very hit or miss. There is no rhyme or reason on it, so it's tough. But maybe third time's the charm, right? I will do this. I believe in myself. Now with the rocket launcher, it's a one-hit kill, but the thing is, it's tough because this hitbox, again, is just weird. It's a very small room. So, I mean, you're supposed to get bit. That's really... The super vast majority of users are supposed to get hit. But gosh darn it, I would do this, and I will defeat him. I got caught in the box. You see? It's just, it's a tight room. And if you get caught in the geometry, you're gonna get bit.
Resident Evil.
So bear with me, please. Again, it is even for pro players. This is a tough fight to get away with unscathed. I haven't even shot him yet, because I'm just trying to find a free spot to shoot him in. Which is usually where he came from. That's usually the safest spot to go. So I hope I'm not boring you. But again, the way the game wants you to do, you're supposed to get bit. And fight him. But there is a way to do it without taking damage. It's just, again, as you can see, it's a very small room. Alright, if he behaves... And now he's going to retreat. Alright, so that you're supposed to get the right camera angle. And look, the last crest, which is the moon crest. It's the hole where that big snake came out of. He actually didn't take a lot of shots, too. There's actually shotgun shells over here. You would just never know because you're so occupied with the snake. So, alright, so I'm going to tell you what happens when you are bit. If you happen to get bit by the snake, which is 99% of the time. When you step out of this door, there's going to be a small cutscene that plays. Where Jill, upon going down the stairs, she gets dizzy. And she faints. She passes out. And then you see footsteps on the edge of the camera. Screen fades to black. And then when you wake up, you're in the save room. Because you were poisoned by the snake, but somebody saves you. So in this case, that doesn't happen. So you kind of just go along your merry way, and like it never happened. So that pretty much concludes the mansion, at least the first mansion part of the game. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that last crest in the room, or in the slot here. Which then unlocks this door. Right? So then what I need to do, in this little room here, you notice that there's a 3D item right here, right? It's just out of reach, so I just need to... what does that I need to do? I need to push this, and then push it towards the wall. Climb up. And it is a crank. So again, always investigate items, right? But the shape of the crank, it's a square-shaped crank. So now it tells me. So that leads me, that other door will lead me to the next part of the game, which is the garden / guardhouse, which is where more lore happens. But that already at 6:30, so already running late here. But like I said, I wanted to do the boss, so I'm just going to combine these items here. And put these in. And armor key. And I'm going to save one more time. Because I beat the boss. And again, I haven't looked at the poll yet. But I will look at the poll. And if you want me to continue doing this when I come back, I certainly don't mind. You know, I can try to figure it out and see if it's something that I can return to. So, you know what, ink ribbon I'm going to put up here. And yeah, that is it for Resident Evil 1. And let me check the... results here. All right. 5 votes at yes. You want me to complete the run. So, okay. I will end the poll. And yeah, I think, again, I think this is more educational than anything else, you know. And again, from what I remember, there really aren't any curses. There's no, I mean, there is some nudity at the very end of the game, and by that I'm like kind of like naked zombies, kind of. Um, that would be it. You don't see anything, like nothing's shown. But nonetheless, again, I will be off for 2 weeks. So next Friday, November 4th, and also Friday the 11th, I will actually be out of state. I will not be here. So I will return on the Video Game Club on Friday, November 18th. Sounds like it's far away from here, but it's just 2 weeks from now, or 3 weeks. It's just I'm going to be out and about and traveling and exploring a part of the U.S. that I've never been to before. So, unfortunately, I will not be around. I apologize for those of you who, for those of you who are here every week. Thank you so much for doing so. But I am checking out a wedding, so and some other things as well. But nonetheless, let me give a big shout out to those of you who are here today. 8BitGlitch79, thank you so much for stopping by. Linda the Gamer Gal, thank you for being here always, every week. It's amazing. I really do appreciate the support. EC Myers, thank you so much for coming on by, lurking like a zombie. Rax the Great, my man, I don't need to tell you how awesome you are. You already have great in your name. Thank you for chilling. Appreciate it. TV Games, thank you so much for stopping by. John JT, thank you so much for stopping by, and congratulations on the move. I look forward to whatever streams or whatever content that you decide to crank out in the near future. Keep on doing what you do, man. You're doing some really cool stuff. Waves and Games, thank you so much for stopping by. Have a fantastic weekend. Is there anybody else I am missing? Oh, okay. But yeah, you all mentioned yes on continuing this stream. Hopefully it wasn't boring. I know I'm kind of moving at a snail's pace, but it's also, especially here at the Video Game Club, um, I kind of want to talk about details, and I think it's so fascinating to see what a younger person would think seeing Resident Evil 1 for the first time. Because obviously we saw it when we were young, but it was a different time. It's before YouTube, this was before any of that stuff. So we had no like preconceived notions of what to expect. It was all brand new. So I think for us, we absorbed it that much more. Maybe for younger people, it's not as immersive as it was for us, which is a shame. But hopefully, maybe this type of perspective helps maybe younger generations to maybe appreciate what Resident Evil set in the table in terms of survival horror game. Like without Resident Evil, you wouldn't have Dead Space. Without Resident Evil, you wouldn't have Outlast. You wouldn't have Five Nights at Freddy. You wouldn't have whatever other Slender Man or whatever other games, spooky games there are out these days. Resident Evil wasn't the first. Because there was obviously Resident Evil was even inspired by Alone in the Dark, inspired by Sweet Home, other games prior to it. But Resident Evil really put survival horror on the map for tons of generations to come. So, but nonetheless, thank you so much for stopping by. Have a fantastic Halloween, a safe Halloween, please. And if you are partaking in trick or treating, please check your candy beforehand, especially if you're giving it out to younger kids. I hate to stress it, but sometimes there are candies out there that are compromised. Supervise what you're giving to your children, and also for yourself too. Just be safe. It just takes a little extra few seconds to investigate what's going on. Just make sure it's edible. Make sure it's good, and just be safe. So yeah, again, I will be back on Friday, November 18th, 3 weeks from now, and I hope to see you there. Maybe I can continue. this playthrough of Resident Evil, and we'll see what happens there. But yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, and we really do appreciate it. I will see you next, or not next week. I know that's what it says there. That's just kind of the standard thing. But I am back again on Friday, November 18th. I will put a mention of this on our library socials as well, just to give a heads up. But thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate it. This was fun. It was a change of pace, a departure from what I normally do. And thank you for tagging along for the ride. So again, as I mentioned before, please, if you're going to partake in Halloween, just make it a fun one. Make it safe. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy nature. Go out for a walk. Go visit some family, some friends. Enjoy life. There's so much to be thankful for in the world. And just takes a minute or two to be kind to your fellow person too. So please take care. Yeah, John JT, happy weekend to you, man. Please enjoy the holiday. Yes, enjoy the Halloween. Watch some scary movies, or play Resident Evil yourself. Enjoy. So take care. On behalf of the Norwalk Public Library, this is Aldo signing off. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you in 3 weeks, Friday, November 18th. Until then, game on, and just keep on being awesome. I will catch you guys later. Bye-bye.